Today is likely to be the one where you see a grown man cry. Oh, lactic headache. Jesus. Tired. After Tuesday with those awful hills. Good morning. So this is the training diary for week 4 of 16 on the 400 metres. To give a bit of context, for weeks 4 to 6, I've got 2 sets of 200s within the plan at different intensities and different recoveries. So Tuesday, 200s at around 80% with 3-minute recoveries. And the second set, similar to the Newham session last week, 200s at around 70 to 75 with 30-second recoveries. However, a couple of things. I've spiced things up a bit this week on the first set. Added in the hill at home, tried to adjust for the incline, gave myself a little bit longer to complete them. And I'm doing 3 sets of 200 this week because next week I've got the Vets League match on the Friday and I want my legs to be as fresh as possible. Anyway, let's dive in. You'll see how things go. Today is likely to be the one where you see a grown man cry. These are going to sting. S4, Jesus. Maybe I've underestimated how much slower I should take them. I've averaged around 39-40. That one was a 41 in the ballpark, but I'm battered. I know why the plan said 6 to 8, but I haven't even got 6 in my legs. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Do number 5. Then call it a day. Oh, lactic headache. Jesus. So I need to look at that. I've either went too fast or the recoveries are too short for what I'm asking my body to do. Oh, fuck. So, that was 5 by 200 metre hills, 3-minute recoveries. I averaged around 40, but oh, so yeah, we've got to dial it back a bit, extend, oh Jesus, extend the recoveries or just suck it up. Try and do 6 next week. Admittedly, it's not quite according to plan. The hills were not in the plan. The 200s were in the plan. Oh, that was so horrible. Oh. Now my glutes are screaming with lactic as well. Jesus Christ, got to stand up. Okay, we're done. Walk back home. S&C later. and physio, so I will check in with you Thursday or Friday next at track. I've got to go. Bye. Morning, Thursday. Very quick intro. Braintree, breezy, not as humid as last week, but the same session as last week. So the same session that I did at Newham, 2 times 5 times 200 at around 70 to 75%. So we should be looking, if I get the pacing right today, 37 to 40 seconds, 30-second recoveries, 4 minutes between sets. Okay, here we go. Warm-up's done. Right Achilles is still grumbling, but hopefully that will loosen up as that right calf muscle warms up. Let's do this. Well, first set done. 38-39 average. Tired legs. All done. I'll put the times up on the screen. Second set, I averaged 37. I stretched the legs out on the last stride. I think it came in about 34, but I'm pretty battered by then. Ignore the first one, which says I think 32. The old Garmin was set to lane 6 and I was in lane 1, so it cut me off halfway down the back straight, but I still did about 38. So around 38, 37, 38 for the first set, average 37s on the second set. Tired. After Tuesday with those awful hills, and S&C, and then doing that kind of 4K easy run yesterday. Yeah, fatigued. But anyway, I've got a couple of days off now. We'll probably do S&C on Saturday, then some strides over here Sunday, so I'll see you then. But I've got to go to work and I need to get some breakfast. So I will check in with you 2 or 3 days' time. Bye for now. Okay, last workout of the week. So given that the final Masters League match is next Friday, I felt I needed to give myself some time to at least have fresh-ish legs by that time. So I've moved Tuesday's session, which would have been 8 by 200 at 80% with 3-minute recoveries, which I would have had to have done at Newham track early in the morning. I've pulled that forward to today. And then I'm just going to do strides on Tuesday and Thursday next week and a bit of strength conditioning on the Wednesday. So I appreciate your thoughts on that anyways. But yeah, next Friday I'm doing the 400 at 7 o'clock, 200 at 8 o'clock, possibly the relay. Am I going to do them as time trials? I'm not sure at the moment. I think when you get into a competitive situation, you clearly push a bit harder than you plan. But I hope not to push more than about 90 to 95%. And just to get a gauge of what my fitness is after 4 to 5 weeks of training, which, touch wood, so far has gone steady and according to plan. The hip seems to have resolved itself. The right Achilles is still grumbling. It's grumbling this morning. But yeah, so today's session, 8 by 200 at around 80%, so around 35 seconds with 3-minute recoveries. I'm going to do the first 4 in my road shoes, then change into my spikes. So there might be a slight longer break between the first 4 and the second 4. But yeah, so that's it. So it's going to have been quite an intense week overall. I've had a couple of days off completely just to try and get over those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday accumulation. Still carrying a bit of fatigue this morning on the track, which I'm slightly nervous about, but at the same time kind of convinces me that it's the right thing to do in terms of next Friday's session, because I need longer to get fresher. And then we've got another month or so until the league final, assuming we qualify for that, and I'll slot back into the normal training plan after next Friday. So yeah, there we're at. Sunny, light breeze, no one here as normal yet. The javelin boys will be here soon. So we're going to crack on, get this underway and get home for a bit of breakfast. First set done. I'm just going to put my spikes on. It's so hard to get the pacing right. Garmin saying 31, 32. I reckon they were nearer 33s. Every now and then it would beep just before I got to the 200 line. But yeah, hard to get the pacing right, but not bad. First set in the bank. See how we got on with the spikes. Ooh. First one's always the easiest. Right, here we go. All done. So the plan had between 6 and 8. So I settled for 7 in the end. I thought that was sensible. I could have called it after 6. I was pretty cooked. There was a 6 minute recovery between the first 4 and the last 3. Pacing was okay-ish. So looking at the Garmin here, it's saying averaging 32, but the GPS was beeping about a metre or so before I crossed the line. So I reckon I averaged 33 and I should have been averaging 35. So not bad. I've got to be able to get up to, in the next few weeks, next 4 to 5 weeks, I'll get up to 10 of them at around 83 to 85%, so around the 32 second mark. So that's a good start. I felt better once I got going than I did in the warm-up. But yeah, so it's been a solid week. It's been a solid month. Kept it under control, I think. Gradually built, and we'll continue in that vein. Going to do S&C today, day off tomorrow. Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to Newham on the way into work. I'm just going to jog warm up, do a few strides, nothing more than that. And then we've got Friday over at Colchester, Friday evening, 400 at 7 o'clock, 200 8 o'clock, and we'll see how we get on. So quite a week, as you will have seen. But yeah, overall I'm pleased with progress, and I am, apart from this grumbling Achilles, and I keep stretching out that calf muscle, trying to loosen up that fascia. Apart from that, everything is working or ticking along fine for the time being, a month in. So yeah, long may that continue. Anyway, I've got my protein shake with berries and all that kind of malarkey, which I think I've now become addicted to. And I will post next weekend with an update on how the meet went. Till then, ciao.